While the cat's away, this mouse is gonna play. See what I do to transform my dining room chairs while my husband's out of town on business. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Natalie with Design to the Nines, where if it has to do with the home, you're gonna find it here. And I bring you weekly tutorials covering everything from DIY to interior design, all topics home related. If this sounds good to you, consider subscribing to my channel below. Turn the notification on because I bring you weekly tutorials covering all these topics. This week, as I mentioned, my husband is traveling for business, and I decided to redo my dining room chairs because, as I mentioned before, we bought our home furnished, and so honestly it's a nice table. It's just not something that I would have selected on my own if I were shopping. And my husband, bless his heart, would look at this table and be like, there is nothing wrong with it, and honestly he'd be right. My biggest complaint with it is this back slat. It's a little more arts and crafts than I would like, and I'd like for it to be a little bit more transitional in design, which is a blend of more modern, contemporary, and traditional. And so the outside lines are going to work perfectly for that. And it's just this back slat. It's more arts and crafts. So we're gonna fix that today. Another one of my complaints is the fact that it has this off-white cream fabric on the seats. Well, who puts white in a dining room, especially if you have kids, which I do, and I just don't want my guests to feel uncomfortable like that. You have to be very careful at my dining room table, but I want something a little bit more formal, a little nice, but kid-friendly. So I've got some solutions on that. So my idea is that I am going to enclose the middle of the back part here and cover it in upholstery on the front and the back, but I'm going to leave the outside wood exposed so it still has that nice wood. All right, I know you can see my draperies in the background. I did a tutorial on that, so make sure you check it out. I'll put the link right up there. And they were off the shelf curtains that I got off of Amazon. So I altered them and gave them a customized look by putting an insert panel. But what's really interesting is I found the identical fabric. It's straight up identical at Hobby Lobby, so it matches perfectly. We are gonna use this for the front insert right here on the back. And then we're gonna also use it on the seat cushion. So it will be, this is very washable and it's dark. It's really, really soft. So it's gonna be super comfortable. But hold on one second. Hold on. I found this amazing celery green ECOT that matches all of the greens that I've also got going on. And I found it on Amazon Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, from somebody who was selling it for like 30 bucks for 5 yards. I thought that this would look really cool as the back panel on all of my dining room chairs. So I'm really excited about this. Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is flip this chair over, and we're gonna remove the seat. On my seat, it has this decorative piping that we need to remove in order to recover this seat with. So all we're gonna do with this is take a Phillips head and some needle nose pliers, and we're gonna very carefully pop this up. So you are gonna need some sort of stapler. I have been using this PowerShot for years and years and years, and I find it's really good for a handheld. It's really ergonomic and it punches in those staples really good. And then I upgraded to an awesome nail gun that hooked up to my air compressor. It was amazing. and I left it at my house in Maine, so we're gonna be working with this today. This is what most people have, so it will work out perfectly. So we'll just go ahead and start with this. So with the seed off, we're ready to get started. And the first thing we're gonna do is apply some batting. This is kind of thin. I'm not sure what ounce it is. I'll put that in the notes. But some thin batting on the back to just kind of make everything smooth and soft like an upholstered back would be. And I've cut it, I've traced it to the inside here, and we're gonna work in a north, south, east, west, or west, east, but north, south for sure. We're gonna center it up here, and we are gonna just tack this in place by just stapling it on there. And we're committed now. So hopefully, in the comment section below, you'll have to let me know if you think I'm nuts or not by doing this. If you liked the chairs before and you think this is crazy, then let me know. But if you think this is awesome, also let me know. So that we've got it attached up top, and so now we're gonna get it down bottom. And really all we need to do is just tack this in place. I've measured my fabric, and we're gonna do this green side out. It's kind of reversible. It could have been more of the cream side out or the green side out, and I wanted the more green side out. We're gonna just staple and let the rough edges show, because I'm gonna put a double welting on both sides, and so that will cover up a lot of ugly, and it's just gonna work out better for our project here. We're gonna start up north here. And then we're gonna move down south. We're gonna leave the bottom wood exposed down here, but there's a little excess and we can cut that off later. And once we've got it pretty secure here and here, then we're gonna go on this side and get it somewhat tight. You don't want it to pull, so we're gonna just make it smooth on this first one, and we'll pull on the next one. Okay, so we've got that stapled in on the east side, and now we're gonna go over here on the west. You want it to be tight but not pulling too much, and we're just gonna staple that in. And so now we've got a good foundation. Now you're always gonna wanna work from the center out in every direction. So start from the center and work out in every direction. This will help you to keep it nice and smooth. Fortunately here we have, we can staple it here, but once we get beyond this, we're gonna have to staple it upwards. And you want to angle the staples kind of inwards towards the wood. You don't want them to pop out of the wood. So that's nice and smooth this way, and now we're gonna make it nice and smooth that way. I've got these Fiskars Easy Action scissors. They can get in there really close. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna trim around the edge and just trim off all this excess fabric, and do a rough cut right first, and then I can kind of get in there a little closer. So a little rough edges, it's not gonna matter again because we are going to glue in some double welting, so we're gonna do that. As you can see on our chair right here, there is a gaping gap here, and it's about a ½ inch thick, which happens to be the thickness of our foam. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out some foam pieces that insert right into that panel. And then I'm also gonna lay an additional piece of this foam in the entirety of the front part of the chair. And then I'm gonna do some batt over that, so it will be nice soft back. Okay, so I'm just gonna tack this in place right up top here. And that will just hold it in place, and now we'll go get the fabric. So we're just gonna repeat what we did on the back on the front. Awesome. And then again, we'll move from the center out in all directions, and I'll meet you back after that. All right, we're done with this section. It's looking really good, but now you can see we have like all of these rough edges around the front and the back, and what we need to do is we need to make some welting. I'm gonna take some piping or cording. This is 5/30 seconds cording. I ordered it off of Amazon for like a crazy good deal. It has 80 yards on it, and I think I spent like 13 bucks for the whole thing. And I literally just take it and go around to see how much I need, and across, and there we go, and there goes my roll. And then we need double this. So I take this, fold it in half, and double it, and then I just clip. Now, on the front, because we have the cushion there, we only need to do the welting 1, 2, 3 sides. On the back, where the entirety of it's exposed, you'll want to do welting for the entire 4 sides of it. I've done piping tutorials in other videos before, but I've taken 2-inch strip of the fabric, and I put them together. And then for the cording there, I actually purchased a special presser foot for double welting. So you can see, hopefully from here, that when you guide the piping right underneath it, it will feed right underneath it, and so it makes it super easy. So we're gonna pop that onto the machine. What we're gonna do is just wrap the fabric around the cord like so, and then put it in our machine and sew a straight stitch. It's easy as that. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And then you'll notice that we have a little tail, and that's okay. We'll just trim that off, and then it will be ready to glue on. Okay, so we're gonna take a hot glue gun, and it's gonna work great, I promise. We're gonna start by gluing a glob right on the starting point. Make sure you push in all of those rough edges, and we're gonna just hold it here for a second so it sets, and then we'll just go to town. So just make sure you run your hot glue close to the edge, and be generous, and then again push all that yucky, ugly stuff underneath. This is hiding a lot of ugly. The only thing we have left to do is the seat cushion, so let's go do that. I'm gonna just do this with the same kind of principles that we used on the back, and then we'll just pop, pop, pop from the middle to the out, and then we'll be done with this. But there is one little thing with this one, is this one has piping to finish it off, which is awesome because it gives it more of a finished effect, but it's just one other step. Our chair is done. I am really happy with how it turned out. You can do this. I am gonna have to lint roll from head to toe, and I only got a couple of hot glue burns, but we survived this, and you can too. Let me know what you think of the finished product in the comment section below. Do you think my husband will forgive me? I'm kind of hoping so. We'll see. Are you wondering if your chair would work for a project like this? If you're not sure, head on over to my Facebook page, Design to the Nines, and then ask to join the super secret group, All Things Home Related, and you can post a picture in there and get some feedback on whether or not your dining room chair would work for a project like this. If you want to see more tutorials like this in the future, you're going to want to subscribe to my channel below, turn the notifications on, because I bring you weekly tutorials on all things home related. I really appreciate the support. So stay tuned for more episodes, and we'll see you next time.